the episode, but like
you saw 1%. You saw 1% of what actually happened.
What was that? Because it looked pretty, anomalous. I mean, very.
It was very anomalous, right? Yeah. So, so Ariel Zadok was a colleague of mine through Ancient Aliens, and a great guy. Turns out he was former Israeli Special Forces, and he was basically an assassin for them. And it's the first time I met him, he was teaching me how to kill people without them making a sound, right? You got to stab them here and here, and then it's all right, great, Ariel. And then he would tell me like some biblical thing, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. And so I called Ariel, and I was talking to him, and I said, we can't find some local natives that will come out and do any of their rituals, and I would like to find out. And so Ariel is not just—he is a rabbi, but he is a theologian, like library, and I figured he would know something about some of the rituals or whatever. And I asked him, I said, do you know of any rituals that are supposed to open up, the portal to the sky gods or anything like that? And he said, well, the Jewish faith has two very specific rituals for that open portals to heaven and to the underworld. And I said, well, tell me about it. And he started telling me about it, and he said, well, I'd be happy to come out and perform those rituals. I'll have to get authorization from the church or whatever, synagogue, whatever the heck the Jewish people call it, his bosses, right? Mm-hmm. And so he came out, and he first comes out to the deck, and we're talking at the deck, sitting around the table, talk about what we're going to do, and he's sitting in a wooden chair, and he says, well, this is a lot about mind, and you have to be thinking of the communication, what is it we're trying to do here, and what you expect to get. And he says, so let me tell you how we could do this. And about that time I said, holy shit, look at that. And I turned up, I pointed, and there was a UFO or a bright spherical object appearing in the sky over the triangle. And at that very instant, the rabbi's chair completely collapsed right to the ground. Uh-oh. I mean, with that instant I stood up and said, holy shit, look at that. The rabbi's chair goes. Now, they didn't show the chair part. I don't know why, because it was a weird coincidence. He didn't move or jump up or get scared. Hell, he used to kill people for a living. Right? Me saying holy shit didn't scare him. And
Thank you.
So, and then we sat and we watched these spheres, whatever they are, for a few minutes. And before they go away, and I think that actually made it on the episode. And then he took me afterwards. He said, now do you think that was coincidence? That we were just talking about what we were going to do to manifest something? I said, I don't know. It's an odd coincidence. It's I want to go buy a lotto ticket with you in a little bit, right? And so then he said, all right, so here's what. So we drove out to Homestead. We set up all of our equipment, and we did 2 rituals. Apparently, the ceremony we did, you had to do it in succession. There's a daytime ritual that you have to do before the nighttime ritual. The daytime ritual didn't make it on the show. Well, the first thing we did was we had to create a consecrated circle, which we got rocks and put them in a circle, and then he blessed it, and he said, this is where we will do the ceremony. It's all following to the letter of all the ancient scripture for the Jewish ritual, right? He put on the Jewish clothes and things that you have to wear, and blew this horn that's like a ram's horn or something, and Drake got such a kick out of that. But anyway, so we're standing around, and we got our instruments and we're watching while we're doing the daytime ritual. And while we're doing the daytime ritual, Eric's lightning meter starts going off. And Thomas and I look at the sky, and I could tell both of us were looking at the same thing, and nobody else was looking where we were looking. And we were like, why is nobody looking at that? Because lightning was striking south of the ranch, like boom, boom, while he's doing this ritual. Nobody saw the lightning. The lightning wasn't on video, but Thomas and I both saw it. And Eric's lightning meter went off. And it said it was 7 miles from the ranch. That was weird. We felt like we saw other things, but it could have been 100 degrees daytime, and staring at the blue has plays tricks on your eyes. So we didn't dwell on it. So then we broke down for about an hour while the rabbi reset, for the nighttime experiment for the sunset. And the sun goes down. We got all the equipment ready. We've got a thermal imaging camera and FLIRs. We've got nighttime stuff looking. We got all our instruments looking at the Homestead 2 doorway. Then he starts the nighttime ritual, the chant, and suddenly the temperature looks normal. You look at any wooded area like this. This is about, so right here is about what Homestead 2 looks like. There's trees around it like this and brush, and then there's 3 derelict buildings, right? And you look, kind of looking through the doorway, so the road, we would have been like set up over there where that house is, looking back through it this way. And as he gets to about halfway, the chant's about 20 minutes long, he gets about halfway through it, and then suddenly the homogeneous distribution of wind flow and temperature, it just stops dead still, and the temperature at the top is really hot and at the bottom is really cold, and it looks like it's in layers, and it's like, well, that's weird. And then suddenly it starts falling like this, and then the rabbi finishes his thing, and we're like, wow, as you were doing that, the temperature stopped moving. And then suddenly, I mean, this is immediately following, and the rabbi comes over, we're looking at the thing within less than a minute of him finishing the chant. Then the top heat layer falls like this, and the interior part turns like black. Black was cold, red's hot. And I was like, holy crap. It's like getting really cold right in one spot. I don't believe that. It's got to be something wrong with the instrument. I'm going down there. And so I take off running down there, and Thomas and Dragon come in behind me, and as soon as we stepped across the road into the front yard of the homestead, the temperature was 15 degrees cooler than it was like a wall. And we stepped through, like you opened the door to a meat locker and walked in, and we got into the inside of the homestead. It was 27 degrees cooler than outside the homestead. And
Wow.
and it was literally, and Dragon describes it like it was the chill to your bone kind of cold, not just the air was cold. And it was like you opened the door to a meat locker and you stepped in it. And it lasted for about 5 minutes, and we walked all around it trying to figure out where the boundaries were. And it was literally probably 10 feet in any direction from the center, and and it stopped right at the road, and it was bizarre. And then when we recorded that, we replayed the rabbi's chant a few nights later, same thing happened again. So that's the really weird thing. Why is it doing that, right?
So a follow-up to that. We went out to McConkey Ranch this year with some of us, and some of those petroglyphs, they said, oh, well, this may be them allegedly an area of a portal or where they would stand to do their chants. And one of the guys that was with the tour, and he lived here, he said that he lived close by, and one night they heard drumming, like, I don't know, 2 in the morning, and he kept hearing drumming, and they heard, like, chanting, and it turns out it was local natives that would go out there and do this, like, once a year, and they were doing it every year. So I know you said they wouldn't come on the show, but did you talk to them at all about any of that? Is that part of the...
We have talked to both tribes,
Uh-huh.
and they, for whatever reason, and we would be 100% respectful to any of their wishes, to whatever they wanted to do, if they would come do something, or at least give us guidance. They really don't want, or at least so far, haven't wanted any publicity about it. So I've been trying to study it on my own and figure out. We went. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to say. So we're aware of the McConkey Ranch things,
I'm sure.
and there's actually some physics written in those that we discovered, and you'll see that in season 4, and we're not quite through with that yet. But I believe, well, and the rabbi even pointed out that, and we've had several episodes of Agent Aliens about there's several temples around the world that you hit certain frequencies, then the temple resonates, right? And there's legend about it open up portals to heaven and all these things, and so maybe that's that there's something to that. I don't know. Maybe.
Who might come out? Jonathan Dover?
Yeah.
He might come out.
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny.
You hit the nail on the head there. All right. Amen. Love it. What else can't we confirm or deny?
You can turn it off while he's eating.